there's a few opportunities that were missed, and we're like, wouldn't it have been cool if Glenn did this? Wouldn't it have been cool? And it's really a fortunate blessing that the WWE is really into taking it in a new direction. So when we came up with something completely batshit crazy, they're like, okay, here's the money. We were like, what? And everyone's out like, oh, you'll be scared of working with the studio. No, they were like, I don't know, like having parents that spoil the crap out of you. So I think I'm really going to like the end product.
They were so creatively supportive as well. I know that it isn't a script written by us. It was written by Bobby Lee Darby and Nathan Brooks, two lovely British lads who have the same very foul sense of humor as we do. So it was a really beautiful collaborative process. And of course, Glenn, who is brilliant, had a lot of input as well.
Rennie Harlan used 2 cameras while filming John Cena and 12 rounds. John Carpenter rewrote John Nada's backstory to match closely with Roddy Piper's in They Live. Now tell me how you worked around Kane's persona for the film.
We did not use Kane's persona whatsoever. Kane is totally different, as is Glenn, as is Jacob Goodnight. The thing that I think a lot of people forget about Glenn, because he's so good as Kane, is he's extremely smart and extremely articulate, and it's like working with a theatrically trained actor. Like usually, like when American Mary with Katie, I would talk to her every day, constantly. To Glenn, I'd be like, I need this, and give him a bunch of complicated things, and he'd go and I'd be like, oh, I hope he does it. He'd do it in one, and I'd be like, cool. Next, I guess, is my direct.
Yeah, the assumption is that he's just a really good physical performer, but emotionally, he's an incredible performer as well. And we noticed that in the first See No Evil as well. I think there are a lot of missed opportunities in the first film to really have him expand that, and he really does get to perform in this one.
Yeah, and he's strong. Like, we had three, one example, we had 3 crew guys bringing this giant steel gurney in, and it tipped over, and we're like, oh, and we called them in, and Glenn's like, oh, you need that? Lift it up with one hand, here you go. And we're like, he could kill us all if he wanted
to.
If
he snapped, that would be it for
that
all of us.
Dead.
Also, also, he did 100% of his own stunts, and you'll see some stuff, there's no wires. That's all Glenn's strength.
If people go flying, it's because Glenn's like, shot put at them.
He can throw a human being far.
Through a wall in some case. I mean, maybe through a wall.
No comment. Spoiler alert.
What will set this one apart from other slasher films?
We totally break the stereotype of what you're expecting. I can't tell you what, but I hate formulas. I think North American horror films follow a very deliberate formula with, okay, we're going to set this person up to definitely be the final girl. We have 3 final girls. We have Shalon Simmons, Catherine Isabel, and Danielle Harris, who we were dying to work with. So you don't really know who's going to be the last one living. And you don't know, you're never going to be like, oh, well, that's just a throwaway character. He's going to get it next. All of the characters are very well developed.
Oh, I think when we were making the characters, I was like, and this is going to sound mean, but I was like, what would upset my mom the most? And I was like, I must make everybody love them, my mom especially. And then if something horrible happens to them, make it so horrible, my mom is like, why'd you Sylvia? Come on.
I'm a big lover of Joss Whedon. I love how he builds up a character and makes you love them, and then he just mercilessly murders
So now they're going to watch and be like, do I like this character? Oh, they're good.
You're going to like all of them.
But it's an art house slasher, which is a weird thing to say, but despite how horrible the things that happen in the film are, it's absolutely beautiful. But I think evisceration is beautiful. I'm just kind of
Will you be appearing in the film as well?
We are slaves to what people want. We retired from acting after American Mary, and then people said, you're expletive idiots for doing that. We love you guys. We want you to do more stuff, like Hitchcock. I just never want to jump the shark and be an uninvited guest in my own film. Like, everybody stop the movie.
It's a director's cameo. I think maybe we got done up to do something.
I would never disappoint what our fans wanted, so that is a strong maybe.
Your maybe sounded like a yes.
Did it?
What's the body count?
Oh, it's a lucky number. I won't tell you.
It is a lucky number, and it's more than one.
How's the gore?
Oh my gosh, okay. So we brought back Masters Effects who worked with us in American Mary, where everybody who talks to me about prosthetics, I'm like, I'm in a committed prosthetic relationship with Masters Effects, because I can be like, send like disgusting videos I find on the internet, and they're like, okay, I guess we'll do that.
We're also such fans of horror movies that when we look at the kills and we're like little sociopath homicidal maniacs.
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah. Well, we'll look at the kills and be like, not saw that, that would happen in this movie, that happened in that movie. very, very original kills in this, and it was really important for us to not do something that everyone has seen over and over again.
I'm trying to think if we have. There's only one kill I've seen done before, but it's
Not the way we did it.
no, we.
Yeah.
It's really special. Well, I like the cast, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you today, and they're like, why? What's wrong with her?
There's only not a lot of people had stunt doubles. Everyone was broken and bruised by the end of it.
Oh,
they were emotionally abused and physically abused.
One of the cast couldn't even walk after we did what we did to them.
Oh, he was a real trooper. Did he make it to the end?
So being a fan of horror films for so long as you've been, does it make it easier or harder to make a movie like this, where you're always thinking of this has to be more original, this has to be not like this? Is it easier or harder?
I think it's easier because I think that, especially in North America, horror has been handled by the wrong people for so long. People that you can tell don't really have a passion or care about it. And porn, sometimes horror can be like porn. It's seen as this subgenre, it's not at the silence.
As long as
of the
we get the
lambs
money
level.
shots and the tits, it's
Exactly.
fine.
But I like The Rock, we are the people's horror directors. We will do what the people want, even, despite some people aren't making horror movies that everyone wants to see.
I'm glad that you said it was easy. I'm super hard on myself, so everybody would be like, that's a perfect day. I was like, no, that's not perfect. And they'd be like, God, she's really insane.
You're like Natalie Portman in Black Swan.
I'm not ready to bleed out yet.
A few more films.
I think that's all the time that we're doing this, but is anybody else?
Yeah, she's trying to wrap us up.
Yeah, seriously. Do it.
I don't know if you guys seen. I don't know if everyone's seen American Made,
I
but
love it.
the characters that you guys had in that movie were, spoiler alert, you guys get your arms switched out. You guys being so close, obviously. Just out of curiosity, is that something you guys would actually ever consider doing in real life?
She wanted to.
Really?
Yeah, she wanted
Yeah,
to.
I would. I'm super concerned that, like Misery, some fan is going to kidnap us and I'm going to wake up like Human Centipede strapped to a thing like, I don't want this, I don't want this. It was a movie, it was a movie.
But,
That's it for today.
Oh.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for putting us on your list.
Oh, absolutely. I got a kiss sign. There you go.
Perfect.